Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Aarti, the CEO of Ekam. Ekam, as you may well aware, know that we are a premium wellness brand focused on fragrances. We break products, fragrance products like candles, perfumes, essential oils, plugins, refills, focused on aromatherapy that help our customers feel their best every moment, every day. And as part of our initiative to give back to our community, we organize these wellness sessions and invite a number of experts to help us and our customers to understand what are our stressors and how to deal with the stressors, what are the coping mechanisms, and what are the tricks, what are the tips or pointers that we can take away to help with this with the pressures and the stress that we face in our daily life. So today we have Kavyal Sedanni. We are inviting her once again. She's a very well-known mental health advocate as well as a trained hypnotherapist. We had a wonderful session with her a few months back and very, very happy to have her on board again to give us some valuable tips on relationships and how to deal with people. Kavyal, welcome again, and looking forward to hearing some pearls of wisdom from you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so honored to be back, and I hope that the next 35-40 minutes can help anybody who's going through a hard time with their relationships, whether it's their parents or their partners. I hope it gives them some strength to cope. Yes, tell me, do you want to start shooting some questions, or do you want me to just carry on like I can usually do, talking for hours nonstop?
I think we could start with a few pointers on how to identify toxic relationships and what could be the possible triggers, and then maybe people will start putting in their questions. We can start taking them.
All right. How many people do we have here right now?
Right now we are hitting 29 and it's still, I expect a few more to join. Yeah, like 30 now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind is that it's not different when you have toxic parents or toxic partners. The traits are going to be almost the same because both these relationships to you are extremely intimate. Okay, they are the primary relationships of your life. They have equal control of your life. So the traits will always be the same. One point of caution here is that if there is any young audience here, I don't know whether there is anybody between the age of 12 and 20. Ajkal, this word toxic is taken for granted even for the smallest thing. Like मम्मी ने बोला यार तुम सुबह उठ के ये काम नहीं करते हो तो हाय मेरी माँ टॉक्सिक है. तुम्हारे पार्टनर ने बोल दिया that why don't you go and do this for me? हाय मेरा पार्टनर टॉक्सिक है. So that is not toxic. You got to really understand that toxicity runs in cycles over and over and over and over. The problem with us today is our tolerance has become as little as a fly. Okay, we do not want to compromise. We do not want to adjust. We think that we are Prince Charles and the world should run the way we want it to run. वो तो बेचारा Prince Charles का भी world उसके हिसाब से नहीं run होता है. But if we are going to be in relationships with somebody, it's always going to be a give and take. It's never, never, never going to run only your way. So ये जो हम लोगों ने टॉक्सिसिटी के ग्लासेस पहने हुए ना कि हर चीज टॉक्सिक दिखती है, उसको निकाल. And we become very realistic about what relationships are meant and supposed to be. Toxic relationships clearly have a long-term pattern. It's not like, oh, 1 week my wife has behaved like this, or 1 week my parent has behaved like this. These are all long-term patterns where any sort of violence, whether it is any sort of abuse, any sort of violence, whether that is emotional abuse and violence, verbal abuse and violence, physical abuse and violence, and sexual abuse and violence, is the first sign of toxicity. Okay, then if there is any partner or any parent who is all about themselves only, I, me, myself, मतलब आपने आपके लिए कुछ किया तो भी आता है that no, you didn't think about me. What about me? What about me? Everything cannot become about them. If you chose to say drop science and go for commerce, it cannot become about hi मेरी बाजू वाली आंटी मेरे बारे में क्या बोली. Will they say that I am a bad mother? No, that everything in your life cannot become about the toxic person there. That's almost bordering on to narcissism. मतलब अपना काम निकलवाने के लिए या उनके दिमाग में जो है निकलवाने के लिए साम दाम दंड भेद मैनिपुलेशन लाइंग हिटिंग अग्रेशन लव बॉम्बिंग ड्रामा सब कुछ चलता है वो just to make everything about me. That is clearly toxic. Another one is there is a lot of rigid control. Matlab everything has to happen their way only. Now this controlling could happen through guilt, through shame, through anger. तुझे क्या पता है तूने जिंदगी में क्या उखाड़ा है तेरे से कुछ होने वाला नहीं है हम लोग को देखो अब ये या हम लोग को देखो हम लोगों ने ये किया था ये तो हर घर में होता है लेकिन अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपकी मर्जी चल ही नहीं रही है like everything has to be what are my parents going to say what is my partner going to say and you can almost you almost know exactly the dialogues that are going to come because they have done this 200 times before. Okay, now that is controlling through guilt and shame and anger and fear because we are so scared of the consequences that we feel like nahi yaar humko jo karna hai wo chhod ke unko jo karna hai wahi karte hain life aasan ho jayega. If we try to do something that we want, it will be a massive problem. So people give up on their dreams even before their dreams start. Okay. Very very harsh punishments. मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा मारना, बहुत ज़्यादा पीटना. I have known parents who have literally left the children out of the house for 20 hours and said, "No, you are not allowed to come inside the house." I know of parents who have withdrawn the admissions of children and said, "देख ले तेरा रास्ता." I've seen children and partners, forget children, but also partners who are actually beaten black and blue. बैट से बेल्ट से झाड़ू से जो हाथ में आए उसे very harsh punishments clearly very toxic. Some parents I know and this you will see once you get married. Okay, some parents can get extremely jealous of your compatibility with your partner. So there are parents and mother-in-laws that if the husband has got his wife a lipstick, the mother-in-law wants exactly the same lipstick. If the daughter-in-law has got a purse, मेरे लिए क्यों नहीं लाया? उसके लिए ही लाता है, उसके लिए ही हमेशा ये करता है, वो करता है. That constant comparison with your child's spouse and that jealousy is very toxic. मतलब आज के it's a little hard to believe. But if the mother-in-law galti se has seen that, oh, the husband has hugged the wife, she needs a hug at that time only. If he has taken the wife out, she needs to be taken out at that time only. So, that kind of jealousy from your own child or your own partner that's not great. Anything you do is a no, unsupported. Nahin, ye nahi hoga. Nahin, everything is a no, 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 no. So you feel like, अरे यार ये कुछ भी करे हमेशा फर्स्ट वर्ड इज ऑलवेज नो दैट इज अगेन प्रॉब्लमैटिक. अगर उनके साथ कोई डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन है इवन इफ इट्स लाइक अ हेल्दी कॉन्वर्सेशन ऑन द टेबल 5 कजन साथ में बैठे हैं मम्मी पापा ने कुछ बोल दिया कि नहीं नहीं ये ऐसा होना चाहिए एंड इफ यू हैव अ डिफरेंट ओपिनियन वो शायद टेबल पे तो कुछ बोले ना बोले पीछे से 4 दिन तक निकालते रहेंगे आपके ऊपर दैट नो यू डिसरिस्पेक्टेड मी बाय हैविंग अ डिफरेंट ओपिनियन. How dare you have a different opinion? And then that torture keeps coming out to you in different ways, small and big. That's not okay. A difference of opinion cannot become personal attacks. Public embarrassment to anybody. और ये जब बच्चे छोटे होते हैं ना तब तो मम्मियाँ बड़ी बहुत ज्यादा करती हैं. But that's never done with the intention of being toxic. That's just that child is the center of their life and the only conversation they can have around is their child. अरे बड़ी मस्ती करता है, अरे कुछ भी नहीं खाता, अरे मेरी बात नहीं सुनता. ये जब तक बच्चा छोटा है तब तक ठीक है, जब तक बच्चा नहीं सुन रहा है. But trust me, even if your 2-year-old child is constantly hearing that she keeps complaining to Masi about me, she keeps complaining to Chacha about me, that child is going to suffer. Even worse when the child becomes older or you are now a full-fledged adult and every single thing about your private life is shared onto your mother's family or onto your father's family or your buas and then everybody has an opinion. क्या तेरी मम्मी ने तो ये बोला कि तू ये कर रहा है, तू बड़ा ये हो गया, तू बड़ा वो. That's not okay. There is There has to be a boundary. Your personal information cannot go out. Another very, very problematic one is parents sometimes want to live their dreams through the children. Okay, and that is in all cases. But when a parent does not want to take responsibility for their own actions and then wants to blame everything on you, तूने नहीं किया, तुझे करना चाहिए था. How dare you not do it? Whereas the parents themselves don't do for themselves what they need to do for themselves. So blaming others and taking no responsibility whatsoever for themselves, that is very toxic. Sometimes anger outbursts out of nowhere, मतलब गुस्सा कहीं और पे आया है, आके निकाला गया है बच्चे पे या पार्टनर पे. Absolutely not okay. All of these will make it very, very toxic for you. So if you have a partner or a parent, anybody who has been diagnosed with any sort of psychological issue, whether that is narcissistic, borderline personality disorder, histrionic, bipolar, all of these mood disorders and personality disorders will bring in home some level of toxicity for sure. But what we also need to understand is that we are all victims of victims. Okay? Your parents were not born with an agenda to harass you, but they didn't know better. Your partner is not there with an agenda to harass you, but your partner does not know better. तो आप जो सफर कर रहे हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं किसी ना किसी तरीके से उन्होंने भी सफर किया हुआ है. That is something that you need to keep in mind before you start making any sort of judgments about your parents. Yes, we have some questions here.
I sent you one question on behalf of Meenu.
What is that?
I messaged you personally. She has messaged personally. Direct message.
Oh God, that's very difficult for me to do right now. I have like 4 things running in front of. Can you please read it out?
Okay. Meenu saying that I'm going through divorce. My teen daughter is living in UK with her dad and brainwashed and on wrong track. I am in India currently. My daughter has stopped talking to me. How should I handle this? She is getting freedom with her dad, so enjoying more with him. That's it.
Yes, this is very unfortunate when it comes to cases of divorce. Clearly, if the father here is toxic and the environment in the father's family is toxic, it is going to impact and affect the child. But you'll have to give this time. And if there is any which way to stay in contact, stay in connect with your child, do it. Please keep in mind that the same toxicity that they have showered upon you, they are going to shower upon your daughter very quickly. So the truth is going to come out to your daughter very quickly. Unfortunately, this is a matter of time and so many legalities involved. So we don't know if the child is completely brainwashed. The child may not want to listen to you. Yeah, these are very, very difficult issues. So I want to touch upon what kind of effects this toxicity can have onto everybody. Okay, I have seen और ये भी इंडियन मदर्स में, इंडियन फैमिलीज में काफी होता आ रहा है. अब तो खैर धीरे धीरे चेंज हो रहा है because all the mothers are working. But up to a certain time, say up to the time of my parents and that generation who is now approximately 60, 65 years old, when a lot of mothers were homemakers, and a lot of fathers also had the time to be at home a lot more, they used to they would micro control every choice, every decision of the child. मतलब खाना मुंह तक चम्मच से खुद जाएगा, बच्चे को कुछ भी नहीं करना है. Especially with the boy kids, the girl kids somehow were taught कि तुमको शादी करके जाना है, you have to learn this, you have to learn that. So she would be made a little more responsible. She would also be used as a helper to the mother and the grandmother in the house. So she is somewhere a little more independent. Plus, if there was a boy and a girl in the house, it's very likely that the boy got so much preferential treatment that the girl was supposed to grow up on her own. Okay. And girls naturally have a nurturing tendency. So they want to do stuff. They want to cook. They want to take care. So they kind of pick up on all of those things. But the men, they are conditioned कि नहीं ये तो मम्मी का राजा बेटा है, ये तो दादा दादी का दुलारा है, कुछ भी नहीं चलेगा. Just the virtue that he is a man will get him through life. That has literally been the conditioning for a very long time. I'm telling you, it's changing now. But for every mother who has extra spoon fed the son, कि वो पार्टी में कौन से कपड़े, ये वाले कपड़े पहन के जाएगा, इस्त्री करके रखे हुए, ये वाले जूते पहनेगा, चल 5 बज गए अब तू तेरा होमवर्क करेगा, चल 6 बज गए अब तू तेरा दूध पिएगा, चल 7 बजे अभी नीचे जाएगा, 8 बजे वापस ऊपर आएगा. तो उन्होंने है ना अपने बच्चों के दिमाग को इंडिपेंडेंट होने ही नहीं दिया है. बिकॉज every small single decision was made by the mother up to the age of 15, 16. So the child has never learned to make decisions on their own. They've just been dependent. हाँ मम्मा कर लेगी. Okay. And now suddenly the boy is 18, 19 and the parents say तेरा इतना दिमाग भी नहीं चलता है क्या? You can't do so much of what also on your own. But this creates something called stunted development. मतलब sometimes you will see men even women who have been extra pampered. You will see them even at the age of 35 and 40 behaving like a 16-year-old, expecting the whole world around them to do everything, never taking responsibility. मैं क्या करूँ, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मुझे क्या पता. So then ये जो पहले dependence अपने parents पे था, अब ये dependence अपने partners पे होता है. And then obviously the wife is not going to be able to take it, or the husband is not going to be able to take it. But it's actually called stunted development. Your brain is not developed in a way that you can take control of your own life. That has come from excessive dependency out of love, dular, but that is also very, very toxic. So if you have lived with a partner or a parent who has been very toxic to you, all sorts of anxiety, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorders, क्योंकि पता है कि भैया अगर थोड़ा सा इधर उधर हो गया तो घर पे जाके मार पड़ेगी, डांट पड़ेगी, तो brain goes in cyclical thoughts that no, we got to have everything perfect. The need for perfection, the kida for perfection comes from toxic relationships like this. Post-traumatic stress disorder. If somebody has been violently hit, violently abused, maybe even 10 years ago. But even after 10 years, they're sitting and chilling, everything is fine, watching a series on Netflix where somebody has been violently hit, the same triggers will come back again and the person can go into very anxious, panicky modes. Okay, that's post-traumatic stress. Drug and alcohol abuse becomes very common when you have toxic parents. Now, this is a very interesting one for everybody to learn, that we are all made up of 50% mother, 50% father. We could be extremely angry at them, but we may want to burn them, we may want to hurt them, but we can't do that. So guess what? I'll just hurt myself. Because I'm made up of 50% mom, 50% dad. So if I hurt myself and they see me suffer, maybe one day they will realize that they did this to me. It's called self-sabotage, a pattern of hurting yourself to get back at the other person. Self-sabotage becomes very, very common. Low self-esteem, insecurity, feeling drained. मतलब आप किसी टॉक्सिक पार्टनर या पेरेंट से बात करोगे ना, तो बात करने के पहले ही ऐसा लगेगा हाय मेरी एनर्जी 10 से 0 पे आ गई. मतलब 10 मिनट तुम्हारे साथ बैठूं और मेरी एनर्जी की तो बात लग जाती है. Then I don't have energy to go around it. That is clearly a sign of bad toxicity. You do not want that energy. And then these people can become very, very needy and clingy and insecure when it comes to their own partner relationships. मतलब मेरे मम्मी पापा ने जो नहीं किया अब तुम सब करो, उन्होंने मुझे सिक्योरिटी नहीं दी अब तुम दो, उन्होंने मुझे दुलार नहीं दिया अब तुम दो, उन्होंने मुझे पैम्परिंग नहीं दिया अब तुम दो. So the person who actually marries the victim as in the child of the toxic parents, it feels like they have the responsibility of a whole country on them. And then that toxic parentage causes a toxic partnership because एक के needs बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. दूसरा feels like, hey, I didn't sign up for this, man. I signed up for you to be an equal partner. What the hell is this now? You're not only my partner, you're also my child. And you're seeking attention for 3 people. तो मैं अपना काम कैसे करूँ? Then that starts creating problems. So it's like a vicious cycle, very, very hard to break out of. That is why when you have been in a toxic relationship for a very long time, you tend to seek and need therapy and professional help. We have any more questions?
Yeah, we have quite a few. One,
I think
Aparna.
Kunal has a question also.
Sorry. So I'll first read out Aparna's question because she's posted it, and then maybe Kunal can ask. I think this was the one dealing with the mother-in-law. She has a mother-in-law which exhibits all the triggers that you mentioned, that tries to copy her, or like whatever her partner treats her like, she tries to match that. There's no question inherent written there, but I guess the question implicit question would be like, how do you deal with that?
You have to retire from your need to get their approval. You have to tell yourself कि भैया ये तो नहीं होगा, वो तुमको कभी भी मेडल नहीं देने वाले हैं कि तुम अच्छी बहू हो, तुम अच्छी बीवी हो, कभी भी नहीं होगा. You have to accept that the only way you can progress in your life is by fully accepting that the only way the toxic people get to keep their power is by making you negative, and they will never give up their power. That is the opposition party. The opposition party is never going to congratulate the ruling party saying, अरे आपने तो बड़ा बढ़िया काम किया है. वो उनका काम ही नहीं है, वो कर ही नहीं पाएंगे, कर सकते हैं ही नहीं, उनको करना भी नहीं. Please understand this. There is no one as blind as the person who chooses not to see. अंधा आदमी होता है ना, तो हाथ पैर ऐसे हिला हिला के कुछ टच फील कर करके भी देख लेता है उसको देखना है, लेकिन जिसको देखना ही नहीं है तो आप कैसे दिखाओगे? You have to say they don't want to see me in a good light. So no matter what I do, even if I take 2 days holiday, and even if I serve the 25 guests who have come to my house, after that 25 phone calls are going to go from your mother-in-law saying, अरे वैसे तो घर में एक भी काम नहीं करती है, उसको पता था इतने सारे लोग आने वाले हैं, उसको अपनी इमेज की पड़ी है, इसलिए 2 दिन छुट्टी लेके ऐसे किया है वैसे किया है. मतलब तुम हाथ भी दे दो तो बोलेंगे तुम्हारे हाथ का मैं क्या करूं, किडनी दे देते तुम्हें कुछ और, उसको बेच बेच के कुछ और ले लेती. Nothing is going to be enough. Nothing is going to be enough. So stop trying to get their approval. Yes, another question, please.
Kunal, do you want to ask, or should I?
Yes, it's.
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me?
Morning.
Hi, good
Very
morning.
well.
How are
Thank
you?
you.
I'm trying to get an appointment with you, but you're so busy.
Sorry. Tell me.
It's okay. This may not be very quick. Can I take 5 minutes?
We don't have so much time, but as quickly as you can give us a question, that'll be great.
Okay, I'll make it short. So whatever you've said right now, like I'm 43, I'm not married. It's like I can try and make it short. So whatever you've said right now in the last 5 minutes about toxicity and being a narcissist and all those things, and so मेरे life में वो reverse हो गया है. So it's it's regressed. Like all these feelings now, behaviors has come out all of a sudden. It's like a volcano. So I'm the person who's toxic now. I'm the narcissist. Not having this way for the past 20, 25 years or 30 years. So this was all submerged. People pleasing. Oh, typical behavior jo hota hai, sort of hiding your insecurities. And I lived my life like that, not taking responsibility. Although I did, but only for myself. So when it came to somebody else, I'm not equipped or I'm not able to basically. I've not worked in 18, 19 years because of I've just been in this whole flux.
Okay.
I went abroad. I went to the US to study, did very well. Then something happened, and I just came back because of health reasons. Again, I'll talk to you when I have a personal consult with you. So now the question is, I'm the person who's toxic, and counseling is saying, you've come a bit too late. You can't change this. It can be managed. So,
Kunal, all of us have a choice. Each person. So when somebody tells you can't change this, okay, that's not true.
Yeah.
You have to understand that in some or the other ways, each one of us carries these toxic traits. Each one of us is somewhere narcissistic. Each one of us is somewhere manipulative. Each one of us is somewhere controlling and blaming and shaming. When it goes beyond a certain point, when it becomes your go-to method of operating in every event, that is when it becomes fully toxic. Okay, so you've got to question
That's what
yourself.
happened.
Like 300 times in a day, you'll have to question yourself that, hey, is this the right thing to do? Is this for me or is this for somebody else? And you can change your whole life. You're gifted with free will. You are gifted with free will. The only
But
thing that
that's
is,
exactly what's
sorry,
happened. That's exactly what's happened. So I changed my, let's say, okay, during my growing years, what do you said about parents? So I said, नहीं यार, मेरा उल्टा था. I was not, let's say, demanding. I was not, I was, let's say, hampering my own goals and dreams. So financial pressure na pade. So what I was doing was I was suppressing my own dreams and goals ताकि financially pressure na pade my parents pe. I kept suppressing. And I went to the US. I basically was, on my own. So I did that again, suppressing my, let's say, my natural dreams because it was just progression of life that was coming along. But what I was doing was I was against my free will all these years. And I just kept doing stuff because I thought this was the right thing to do. But it was not towards a goal or a dream or an ambition. It was just doing stuff. आप लोग
understood.
चीजें करते जा रहे हो. And when you're young, when you're sort of, I was a fairly good-looking guy, जो भी sort of got the attention. So in my, without boasting, with my charm and charisma, I was able to sort of, get through a lot of things in life and my confidence. But I just realized that was all fake confidence. That was a fake charm. People could see it all these years. I could not see it. So my friends said, no, तुझे दिख नहीं रहा था क्या for so many years that you were just faking your personality and you were believing this is the person you are.
See, the good
It had
news
become
here
so
is that
rigid.
you've realized this. Okay. And it's very
But
simple that what comes to awareness will not repeat as your fate. Because if it has come to awareness and you want to do something about it, you will change it. People change their destinies, go from rags to riches. There are these amazing transformation stories all the time. So just keep in mind that if somebody has told you you can't, that's not true. But if you believe you can't, then that becomes true for you. Yeah, Kunal, I guess we better carry on with another question,
Sure.
and maybe you and me can meet in a personal therapy session. Thanks so much. Yes, Aarti.
Yeah. Kavyal, we're getting a lot of questions with related to, and I think it applies more to women. Like we're taught to be independent and to stand up for our own, but then when we're in a relationship, we come across like we have to adjust. But where do you draw the line? Where do you understand that it is adjusting versus we're giving into toxicity? I think we have a few questions like that in the chat box as to how do we differentiate between adjusting, which is a part and parcel of life, and where do you say, okay, this is too much, this is like being toxic, or my partner is being toxic.
Okay, all relation, this modern femininity idea just doesn't work. Okay, it's very good on Instagram and it's very good on some movies and all that. It never works in true relationships. Please understand that when you're a woman, you are most powerful as the nurturer. You are most powerful as the woman. Okay, you are, if you try to be the man, if you try to be the masculine, the one controlling and the one that is aggressive and the one that is calling the shots, it's not going to work for you. So most of the times, that's what I said in the beginning, that don't be very quick to call everything toxic. But you have to remember that you cannot honor anybody at the cost of dishonoring yourself. Okay, so somewhere you have to ask yourself that does me going out of my way to do these few things for my partner dishonor me? If not, then that's not a problem. Then that is a part of the adjustment that you will have to do. Does me doing this action increase the love between us? Whatever it is I am doing, is that appreciated? Whatever it is that I'm doing, is that acknowledged? If it is appreciated, if it is acknowledged, then it's not toxic. Then that love is increasing, the appreciation, the acknowledgement, it's all adding to the relationship. But if you feel like whatever you do is just taken for granted, you are expected to do more and more, just as if you could be the doormat in the house and this is your dharma and this is your karma and nothing else matters. And then you're also expected to give up on your own dreams, your offices, and your boundaries are constantly violated. Then that is what toxic is. Okay, so you do in the beginning of the relationship, you do something 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and then you need to have a conversation saying, hey, I'm really uncomfortable with this. What can we do to work around this? Now, we don't set boundaries initially because of the fear that if we set boundaries, our partner is going to get angry, or our parent or the in-laws is going to get angry. Because of the fear that they will get angry, we don't set boundaries. And when we don't set boundaries, they are all over us. They're all over us in such a way that the only way to secure yourself is by walking out of the relationship. Okay, so the setting those boundaries is very important. Where you can very nicely, with a lot of love and a lot of respect, tell them that, oh, I'm finding it very hard to do this. I had a dream last week, and it was such a funny dream, but it was symbolic to me. I dreamt that I am now my current 42 years old, and I am somehow looking for marriage. And I think there are so many people who are coming to me, लड़की नहीं मिल रही है, लड़का नहीं मिल रहा है, तो maybe I had that thought in my mind. तो मैं जा रही हूँ and I am looking for, मैं लड़के देख रही हूँ, मैं उनके पेरेंट्स से बात कर रही हूँ, and I'm like, मेरे को कोई अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. And then I have a conversation with one of the लड़के की mothers. And the ladka was nice, but I told her, I said, hey, is it expected from me that I'm going to be cooking in the morning and afternoon and evening, and I'm going to be giving up this and I'm going to be giving up that? She's saying, हाँ, वो तो सब करना पड़ेगा. And I told her, sorry, auntie ji, ये नहीं होगा मुझसे. And then I left. Okay. And when I woke up, I'm like, why am I looking for marriage? I'm in a very happy state. I was not actually looking for marriage. What my brain told me is that, Kavyal, you have finally learned to set your boundaries and express them without feeling guilty. That you can straight away say that I can do this, I cannot do this. And setting boundaries is an art, and setting boundaries is not pushing the person away. Setting boundaries is actually an invitation that you are important to me, you are dear to me, I want you in my life. So let's follow a basic set of rules and regulations that can help both of us feel safe and secure with each other. Okay, so maybe you guys should read up about the art of setting boundaries, and there's so much out there, there's so much material out there that
right. Another question along the partner line that is coming up frequently here in the chat is that how do you deal with a controlling partner, a partner who thinks that he knows best, who wants you to do what he wants to do, like who believes, like, let's say you have to work from home, and wants to give up opportunity that is great for you, but maybe doesn't suit what he requires or needs in his or her life, because it can also flow both ways.
Somewhere you need counseling with a space like this. Plus, you also need to ask yourself this: that how have you allowed it? How have you been a co-creator to this? Did you not tell them that you're not okay with this because you're scared that they will throw a fit? Are you scared of confrontation? Are you too needy, too dependent on them constantly liking you and loving you and telling you that you are good enough? And for that, you are constantly trying to please them. Somewhere the root is lying with all of us. Ask yourself these questions and then you'll get an answer.
I think the other question that people are facing is how, if you do have a toxic relationship, you have recognized that you have a toxic relationship in life, how do you deal with the toxicity under one roof? How to live with the person, or what should you be doing to deal with these situations? If walking out is not an option, right? That's
if walking out is not an option, then you need to limit your contact. Then you need to find a lot of hours where you can spend outside and not in front of their face. You need to have extremely strong friendships outside of this relationship. Do not overshare things with them. Do not overshare even तुम्हारे family में क्या हुआ, तुम्हारी मम्मी के साथ क्या हुआ, पापा के साथ क्या हुआ, because remember that information could be used against you. A lot of self-care is important. So you yourself will need to go for therapy, whether your partner is coming for therapy or not coming for therapy. Maintain a journal, whether that is an online journal that can be password protected, or you have a paper pen journal that can be put back in your safe after you write it. And they're not going to change. Accept it. You have to accept it, and you have to tell yourself that you are not here to win their approval, you are not here to make them love you. और ये तो आइडिया बिल्कुल ही छोड़ दो कि मेरा प्यार उसे बदल देगा, जिंदगी में नहीं होगा, 7 जन्म ले लो नहीं होगा. तो उनको बदलने के इंटेंट से इस रिलेशनशिप में मत रहो. There are 3 very simple things, it's called the car. in any situation which is difficult, you see, change what you can. If you can't change anything, then A, accept what you can't change. If you can't change anything, if you can't accept it also, then R, remove yourself from that situation. The CAR, you keep that in mind, and that gives you a lot of answers.
Yeah, I think another question that we have here is regarding how to deal with people who blame you, that you think they are wrong, like manipulating, how to communicate with them because they don't listen.
Yes, that is all gaslighting. It's all part of the narcissistic process. Please understand that that is their personality and that is the way they get their work done. If they feel you are wrong, you say, "हाँ, तुमको ये लगता है? हाँ, okay, ठीक है, no problem." But don't try to over-explain. Don't try to over-negotiate with them. Don't try to um, don't try to get validation from these people. That's one thing. Do not try to be the good person. You know, हमको क्या होता है? We have such an issue that somebody will misunderstand us and they will feel like, oh, I'm not a good person. We can't stand the idea that somebody could be living with the idea that I am a bad person. Be the bad person. Just be the bad person. We are a bad person in somebody or the other story throughout our life. Okay, because वो उनके advantage में चलता है to see us like that. When somebody doesn't want to take responsibility कि वो कहाँ पे खुद fuck up कर रहे हैं, तो उनको जरूरी है कि कोई ना कोई तो सामने villain दिखे ना, who they can blame. A person who doesn't take responsibility will always want a blamer. You are the blamer in their story. So okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change your life. You go around your life and you give them little importance in your life. Your life cannot be in and around them.
We have another unique question from Shreya here, asking how to stop being dependent on others, how to break this pattern.
It's my most favorite question. My energy changes when I feel like I'm born to answer this one. We are all born whole and complete. Okay? If you've seen a child, a 1-year-old child, an 8-month-old child, even if he poops in the toilet, okay, he will look at that toilet and he will look at his own poop as if he has shed out gold. He's so much in love with himself. He doesn't need anybody. He's so happy. वो अपने ही fingers toes खा खा के खुश हो जाएगा. वो अपने में मस्त है. उसको जो चाहिए he expresses it and he gets it. The whole journey of life is to take us from fullness to fullness again. Okay, you were born whole and complete. The universe wants you to experience the whole journey where when you are born whole and complete, and then you grow up and then people start comparing you, and then you start feeling like pieces of your soul are chipping away, and then they start blaming you and some more pieces are chipped away, and then they start getting dependent on you and some more pieces are chipped away. Each person who is coming into your life is a guru. Some people will teach you through darkness, how not to be, what not to do. Some people will teach you through light, how to be, what to do. You pick up all of these lessons and you go back to absolute independence. You go back to self-dependency. You go back to understanding that, hey, I am enough. I am enough. There is nothing I can't do on my own. There is nothing I need somebody else for. It is a difficult journey, no doubt, but it is the most fulfilling one you will ever take up. Can you not make money on your own? Of course you can. Can you not have children today on your own? Of course you can. Can you not have sex on your own? Of course you can. Can you not build a house on your own? Of course you can. What is it that you cannot do? What is it that you cannot do? If there is anything that is telling you you can't do this, it's only a thought. It's only your fear. It's only a thought, and the thought can be changed. But you have to take on this journey that I am going to go from incompleteness to completeness, from fear to fearless, and it will change your whole life. You don't need anybody, nobody.
We have a question from Achal asking if a husband does not listen to the wife's opinion and always stays silent, whether she speaks making a thing that is listening and supportive but does whatever he wants to. Is that being toxic?
Not really. Some people are just not trained into good communication. They have also seen their own fathers not speaking because maybe their partner was toxic, or maybe they just didn't have good social skills. And in India, you see a lot of these people. The men stay silent and the women keep jabbering, keep talking. Not necessary that it is toxic. वो बेचारे को नहीं आता है एक्सप्रेस करने को, या उसको शायद खुद का डर लगा हुआ है कि मैं क्या बोलूं, कैसे बोलूं, will I come across as stupid, will my partner judge me, maybe as a child he was told to चुप बैठ, तेरे को क्या पता है. So all of this conditioning could be different for different people, not necessarily it's toxic.
So Sunandini is asking how to let go of being that goody good pushover person.
Again, you are dependent on other people liking you and giving you a gold medal that, oh, you are Sarvagun Sampan. Let go of it. Let go of it. Being the black sheep is literally a passport to your freedom. So what they think, if they think you're a bad person, excellent. Now you can do whatever you want under the umbrella of being the bad person. That doesn't mean you have to be toxic. That just means that you are no longer dependent on them liking you or loving you. And like I said, it is the journey of going from incompleteness to completeness.
Okay. The next question, one of the questions from Hamini is, my boyfriend didn't communicate with me for the past 2 years. He clearly took me for granted, and he now brought back the silly fights which we had in 2017, 18, 19, and said that was the reason that he didn't talk to me. He forgot all the good things which I did for him, and his family is also kind of giving me a confused vibe. I think she's asking for some
छोड़ दो
guidance.
यार, ये आदमी तुमसे कनेक्ट नहीं करता है, पुरानी बातों पे लगा हुआ है, छोड़ दो इसको, मूव है.
Okay, again, there are a few things related to parents. Shreya is asking how to deal a single mother who keeps telling me to constantly come and meet her, how to set my boundary without feeling bad or guilty. And related, Sweetie is asking how to deal with parents fighting and asking me to correct the other
never
one. So
get into two parents fighting and asking you to be the middleman. Never get into that. Never get into that. Trust me, you will attract the same bullshit in your own relationship with your partner. You are not supposed to be the judge between two parents. Your parents are adults. They know how to deal with their shit. Because they don't want to deal with their shit, they make you the messenger in between. Just tell both of them, I'm sorry, I'm out of this. Both of you deal with each other. दोनों में से कोई एक मर जाए तो मेरे को फोन कर देना. लेकिन एक दूसरे को मारते रहोगे, मैं तुम लोग को बचाने को नहीं आ रही. Completely, because it's one of the most difficult things you can do for yourself. Do not get into solving your parents' fights. They are adults. You are the child. Keep out of it.
And how do you deal with a single mother who probably gives
yes, that's a little hard. That's a little hard because the mother here will feel betrayed. That how can you not? मैंने मेरी पूरी जिंदगी दे दी तुमको, ये करने में, वो करने में, फलाना ढिकना. So that's a very fine balance over there, and I can understand that it could be ridding you with guilt, but just make sure that you're being fair. I mean, you can't ignore her and isolate her for months altogether. But maybe if you're telling her that, okay, I'm coming and seeing you once in a week or twice in a week, and then the rest of the days I need to do this, then drop the guilt, because you have a right to the life that you have. You cannot ignore this woman who is your single mother, but your life cannot become about her wholly and solely, because then your partner will also suffer. Whether you're a girl or a boy, I don't know. But then your partner will also suffer, saying that, hey, you don't have the time for me, everything is about your mother. So that's not fair either. Okay, last question, Aarti, before I got to know.
So I think I'll take this from Sonam, and I'm not sure when you are stuck in a situation, how to figure out and identify the lesson that needs to be learned.
I don't know what situation this is, so I cannot tell you what is the lesson over here, but you need to close your eyes and maybe write down with your left hand, or with whatever. If you're a lefty, then you need to write with your right hand. Okay, basically use a pen and paper in your non-dominant hand and just say, what is this situation trying to teach me? And whatever answer is coming up is your lesson, because your subconscious mind is connected to your non-dominant hand. So when you start writing with that, words will pop out. It could be a very simple message. It could be that you don't know where to stop. It could be that you just want to be loved by her. It could be that you're scared of losing her love. It could be anything. So don't look for a very profound answer that sounds like the way a Sadguru would speak. It could be a very, very simple answer, but it is the honest answer coming from your subconscious.
So I think we're running out of time, and we still have some questions coming in. But one question is from is if they want to contact you, how do they do that for one-to-one sessions or?
So if you go onto my Instagram and you follow my Instagram, it's Kavyal Sedanni on Instagram there. You get a lot of reels and a lot of every alternate day I put up reels on relationships, toxicity, falana dikna, everything. That's a bank of information there. And you can always DM and we will be able to place an appointment for you. Or you can take down the number. It's 9920307336. 9920307336, and you connect with us on WhatsApp, and we will be able to give it to you.
Great.
Right.
I mean, I think the questions will keep rolling. A lot of people, we have had a good participation. We'll try to organize a session again soon with Kavyal. And thank you again, Kavyal, for taking time from your very, very busy schedule.
So much. Thank you, guys. And you guys are doing a great job with all of your aromatherapy products. I'm still using your candles in office, at home. And aromatherapy is, again, it's very, very good for calming your senses, calming your mind. So I recommend that for self-care and self-love. But I will see you guys again soon. You take care.
Thank you. Bye, Kavyal. Bye. Bye. Thank